Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to review the past week in the distance running world, with athletes from all around the globe running fantastic times over a number of distances. This all started on Wednesday night in Stockholm, where a stacked field lined up for the men's 5,000 meters. Only 3 athletes would perform on the night though, and these 3 athletes, Mohamed Ismail of Djibouti, Isaac Kamali of Belgium, and hometown favorite Andreas Almgren, would all be rewarded with sub-13-minute performances. Others in the race, like Paul Chelimo and Henrik Ingebrigtsen, would struggle home in 13:24 and 13:33 respectively. Moving across the Atlantic, we were treated to many star-studded lineups in the LA Grand Prix on Friday and Saturday. With no men's 5,000 being run at the Pre-Classic next weekend, all of Nike's top athletes were in LA for this meet, and boy did it deliver. 12 of the 13 finishers were able to run under the Olympic qualifying standard of 13:05, with Silman Barega taking the win in 12:51 from Barihu Aregawi. 5K world record holder Joshua Cheptegei was third, and half-marathon world record holder Jacob Kiplimo was fourth, both in 12:52. On the women's side, only 2 athletes were able to get under the Olympic standard of 14:52. The race was won by Elle St. Pierre, who ran a personal best of 14:34 and continues to build on her great form from the indoor season, which saw her take the world indoor title in Glasgow. She was closely followed by Jocelyn Brea, who was rewarded with a huge personal best and a Venezuelan national record. British athlete Hannah Nuttall and American Ella Donahue also finished in personal bests under 15 minutes. The second day of this meet provided the main middle distance action, and just like the previous night, there were a lot of big names on show. The middle distance action started with the women's 800 meters, and 3 athletes ran under the Olympic standard of 1:59.3. The eventual winner of this race was Halima Nakai from Uganda, who was given the win in a photo finish over Ethiopian Sigai Deguma, with both athletes running quicker than the world lead, which was still held by 17-year-old Phoebe Gill. The winning time of this race, 1:57.56, which was shared by the first 2 athletes, was also a Ugandan national record for Nakai. In third place was American Sage Hurdeklecker, who finished in a season's best of 1:58.9. The men's 800 meters at this event provided more quick times, with 4 Americans and 5 athletes in total, running under the Olympic standard of 1:44.7. The eventual winner of this race was reigning world indoor champion Bryce Hoppel, who ran his fastest time since 2020 to win in 1:43.6. Isaiah Jewett, Jake Whiteman, Brandon Miller, and Isaiah Harris completed the top 5. Finally, we move on to the 1,500 meters. The women's event saw 10 athletes finish underneath the Olympic standard of 4:02.5, with eventual winner, World Championship silver medalist, Daraibwel Teji, who ran a very quick time of 3 minutes and 55 seconds. She was followed closely by fellow Ethiopian Fruini Hailu, who also finished in 3:55. Americans Emily Mackey, Sinclair Johnson, and Danny Jones all ran under the Olympic qualifying standard, which will make the trials very exciting come June. Another standout performance came from Harvard student Maya Ramsden, who ran a New Zealand national record of 4:02.58, just missing the Olympic standard. Moving on to the men's race, which, although not as quick as the other races from this event, provided great entertainment nonetheless. The race was won by Australian Oliver Hoare, who finished more than a second slower than the Olympic qualifying time in 3 minutes and 34.7 seconds. He beat the likes of Reynold Kipkeroog and 2016 Olympic gold medalist Matthew Centrowitz to take victory. Centrowitz has had a rough few years with injuries and is showing a return to form that will surely have him eyeing one of the 3 spots on the U.S. team for Paris. Olympic and World Championship 4th placer Abel Kipsang was only 14th out of 15 finishers in this race, form that will surely see him at home in August when the Olympics rolls around. Moving back across the Atlantic, this time to London, The eagerly awaited Highgate Night of 10,000-meter PBs took place on Saturday night, and this event absolutely did not disappoint. The women's race was first up, and the home favorite, Megan Keith, was not going to let the fans down. After relinquishing the lead with 2 laps to go, she was able to stay just close enough to American Fiona O'Keeffe to be able to strike in the final 100. Although the race was originally set up to allow athletes to run the Olympic qualifying standard of 30:40, a standard which Megan Keith has already achieved this summer, the eventual winning time of 31:03 ended up being well outside that. Fiona O'Keeffe, who is already on the U.S. Olympic marathon team for Paris, finished a fine second, also in 31:03, with fellow American Amanda Vestry completing the podium with a huge personal best of 31:10. The men's race was to play out similarly to the women's, with the original pace being set at the Olympic qualifying mark of 27 minutes flat, but the winning time eventually falling over 20 seconds short. British athlete Patrick Dever was the most keen to keep things on pace after his 27:08 personal best in March. However, he wasn't able to keep this up for long after the pacers dropped out, and eventually 64-second laps would become 68 or 69-second laps, allowing Djibouti athlete Mohamed Ismail, who had won the 5,000 meters in Stockholm earlier in the week, to get back into the lead and eventually take the win. Ismail's time of 27:22 was a personal best of almost 3 minutes on the track, but only 5 seconds quicker than his road time from Valencia in March. Dever finished a fine second in 27:23, with French athlete Félix Boer coming home in third in a personal best of 27:27. I will leave links to the full results from all these events in the description, as I wasn't able to cover everything in this video. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.